What is going on, everybody? That's right. We are back from the dead, back from the living. This is Shark Week slash. We just coming off Oppenheimer weekend, Barbie weekend. So everybody is just tired from what it seems. We had too much fun, especially with the Shark Week this week. So I know everybody's in their shark crave, and I know we definitely bless you. So we also got a shark movie we are going to talk about tonight as celebrating a big anniversary. So I am the BrettMan. This is Destiny. So Destiny, how are you doing today?
Tired.
Tired.
Yeah,
She
I
had
hate
way too
Tuesdays.
much fun. She had way too much fun this past weekend, so that's why we had to move the show on Tuesday. But no, glad you're here, and I'm glad everybody else is here in the chat. Let's say hello to the chat, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Chester, what's going on, my friend? Dave McCray fan, you're new here to the channel. Welcome, Dave McCray fan. Hopefully, you are doing well. Lamontra, what's going on, my friend? Goodwill Hunting, don't know who those ass hats are. Rosie, my dear, here is your Rose. How are you doing? Who else is here? Don't know that guy, so I'm just going to skip on him. No, I'm just kidding. Brayden, what's going on, doing? Brayden Timmons, baby. Let's see here. We got Yo Adrian. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing good. Ronnie, what's going on, my friend? Saying, so guys, you guys are having this live. I need a distraction on verge of a mental breakdown. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry about that, man. Hopefully we could entertain you for this show, and hope everything is okay, my friend. But we appreciate you being here. And then let's see, we got Chris Snyder. What's going on, my friend? And I believe it's everyone at the moment. If anyone else comes in, we will say hello to them. So, just in case if anyone's new here, this is Back from the Dead, where we celebrate horror movie anniversaries. But we're going to take it easy on it because if we try to do all of them, we will be here for 5 hours. And of course, in Destiny's contract, she only agreed to do 2 hours. So, we're going to respect that wish. So, we're going to just break it down a little bit. We're going to talk about movies for this year. Kind of like the years ending in 3 and 8. So every the integrals of 5, and we'll also talk about the movies that came out last year as well in 2022 for the big important 1 year anniversaries. So that's going to be the kind of like how we are doing it. And Brooke, what's going on, Brooke? How are you doing? And see here. So, all right. So let's go ahead and kick things off. I actually found one from 1958, believe it or not, and and that's going to be The Fly, the original Fly. Came out on July the 16th of 1958. This movie was created so the ever remake can fly. Haha. So this is Fly 1958. So Destiny, have you seen this original one? If not, do you have any interest in seeing this original one?
I have not seen it. I haven't seen that one, and I haven't seen the '80s, The Fly either. Um,
What?
I know. No one yell at me. I literally cannot handle it. Um, but I do want to watch both of them. I will at some point. I'm not like I know I've heard that the '80s version is amazing. I'm just like not a body horror fan, like stuff like that. I find it really gross. Um, and I've seen like clips of it. I'm like, oh fuck, a whole movie, you know. But I
Oh
do want to
yeah.
watch it. I already know how it ends and everything, so it's not like gonna be like a big shock. But I'm sure it'll still be emotional. I'll probably
Hmm.
cry. But the original, I've seen the effects for it, and they don't look the best, and it's kind of silly. But I want to watch it at some point. There's a lot of the '50s movies I have not seen, so
Hmm.
I'll watch it at some point.
Yeah, and especially like coming out of the 50s too, like anything like 50s and below, it's like monster related. Like we're like 2 years off from what we call the slasher genre being born with Peeping Tom and Psycho. But definitely with these creature feature films, like we gotta appreciate them. So that's why when I saw this one, I said, yeah, we definitely gotta talk about this one just a little bit. Like, as I haven't seen it either, but I definitely seen the remake. And Destiny, yes, you are in for a kind of effects. And I'm not the biggest Cronenberg fan. However, that movie's the only Cronenberg movie I will actually watch and enjoy, but I definitely love that movie. I think it's definitely one of the best remakes out there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sure it is.
No, I kid you not. Officer Joe Swanson. Damn, I wish Danner wasn't on vacation so he could freaking just do like punch a shot. See, I horrible. So I don't even know why I tried to attempt it. Danner pretty much is Joe Swanson to me, like the real life version. So, Officer
Yeah.
Joe Swanson, thank you for showing up on Good Real Hunting. Everybody, make Joe Swanson feel welcome. So that is the one I found from 58. So, Destiny, did you find any movies that's like below 1980?
Yes, I found one from 1963.
Okay.
I have not seen it, but they actually did show this on the last drive-in. It's just one of the episodes I haven't seen, and it is Blood Feast.
Ah, yeah.
I've heard a lot of talk about this movie and not a whole lot of great things about this movie, but I would say it's pretty big. Some people actually love it, and some people are just like, it's awful. So, you know, I'm not in a rush to watch it, but I'll watch it on the last drive-in.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's actually interesting. You brought up the last drive-in. More details to come later on that particular topic, because I know you're ready to talk about that one. But Brother Fluff, interesting fact about Destiny. I never knew this, but Destiny once threw a grenade that killed 50 people, and then it exploded. Yes, Destiny is the most interesting woman in the world.
Oh yeah, whole lot of crazy stuff happening.
Brother Fluff, what's going on, my friend? And Rosie says, "Help me, help me! First Fly movie was good, awesome. So great to hear that, Rosie. So definitely going to add that to my watch list. And I definitely know that both of the Fly movies are on HBO or not HBO Max, but just Max. That's where they're on. God, it's so weird just trying to say Max now.
It's stupid.
And then Joe Swanson, I'm just gonna call him Swanson, my friend. Swanson says Cronenberg made the second best horror remake of all time. Out of my curiosity, Swanson, what is your first one? As we are going on, I like to hear what is you consider you think is the greatest remake of all time. Let's see here, and I think we are. Let's see here. Chesser, can I mention Christine from 1983? I love that movie. Yes, you can in December because we will talk about Christine in December because it got released in December. A very jolly Christmas movie, and we'll get to it this December for absolutely. And of course, Swanson, The Thing. Yeah, definitely one of the greatest remakes of all time in the horror genre. So, absolutely.
Great movie.
So, was that it for the seven or anything 70s and below?
Nope, that was it.
All right, great. So, let's see here. I got one from 1983. Desi, this is the movie that you had me watch, and I've never seen this movie, and I'm glad I finally did. And that is Jaws 3D. Yes, I promise you guys that we will talk about a shark movie on Shark Week. And this is Jaws 3D, released on July the 22nd of 1983. And as you could tell from those lovely numbers right there, this movie is extremely loved. But I'll go ahead and let you know right now. I know it says rent down there for $3.79 on Amazon. It is for free right now if you have a Peacock subscription. All the Jaws movies are there. That's how I was able to watch it. So it is on Peacock right now. So I will go first because this is the movie you had me watch. I don't understand the hate. I understand what they were trying to go for during that time. Yes, was the acting like not great? Absolutely not. But I don't think it's one of those movies where you're there for the acting. You're just there kind of like for the atmosphere and the idea. Love the whole idea of having a kind of like SeaWorld setting with these sharks. I kind of wish they did more with it. Kind of like, having the sharks kill like the other animals, like really create that risk. Even though like we still get some creative kills and all that. And especially that one scene where like Jack Quaid is trying to get everybody out of the water and he's just freaking knocking over everybody, knocking over popcorn, and the kids eating popcorn off the ground. Not very sanitary, if you ask me. But other than that, I have a really good time. I love the underwater stuff. and I'll go ahead and get to it. I did not mark any points for the 3D effects in this movie because I don't think that's fair to hate on it just for the 3D effects because it's 1983. We're just got introduced to these 3D effects. So it's not fair to judge something based solely on that because they haven't had the technology to do that. So honestly, I had a really good time with it. Still not one of the best shark movies I've ever seen. So I give it a solid, to me, like a 2.5 out of 5. So Destiny, I know you love Jaws 3D. What are your thoughts?
Well, first I will have to correct you on something.
Uh-oh.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm mentioning Jack Quaid, the son of Dennis Quaid.
Yes.
But yeah,
But
thank you for that.
I love Jaws 3D. I grew up watching the Jaws franchise, all the movies, and so I just love the franchise as a whole. It's really nostalgic, and like, like growing up, I didn't even like recognize that it was kind of like a bad movie or anything. I always just thought it was so much fun. I love the SeaWorld setting. I don't love SeaWorld. I do love the setting though, because it's almost like Jurassic World because they turn it into this whole like park before that, and they have this whole like thing set up, and it goes wrong. But it's just so much fun. I probably rewatch Jaws 3 the most out of the Jaws franchise. It is not the best, but I just think it's the most fun. And when Brayden was here, we actually watched it with my little brother because he really wanted to watch, because I was like, oh, you should watch this one. You might like it. And so we watched it together. I fell asleep, so I don't even know how much my brother watched. But we did watch some of it together because it's a good one to watch like with kids and stuff like that too. Like all around, I think it's just a fun family time. And one of my favorite scenes is when they're in the underwater tunnel and the little girl's like pointing up and you see the shark like above. I always thought that was so cool. Like even like as a kid, I always thought it was like scarier than what it was. Whenever I was like older and I rewatched it, I was like, oh, that wasn't like as cool as I remembered it. It could have been cooler, but it's still a really fun shot within the movie. So yeah, I think it's a fun time. It's silly.
Hell yeah, and I love what you all did with the like kind of like create like your own Jaws wall as you watch those movies. Like I thought that was the coolest damn thing in the world.
I did that.
Oh, I know. Like I can
There's no
understand
we.
that Brayden doesn't have a creative bone except for film, but other than that, it's all you. I bet.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of myself for that one.
Oh no, absolutely you should. I was so jealous. Like, damn, I wish I could have done something like that. But maybe in the future, and I know who to call on decorating advice on that. And
Yes.
yes, so Aaron Click, what's going on, my friend? Didn't want to leave you out. I didn't want to leave out Robert the Wolfman. What's going on there, Robert? And Matt Fauci, that fire SOB, saying Jaws 3D is fire. He is a big fan of this movie as well. Let's see here. Anybody else? I think we are good there. Actually, Rosie says, crazy to think that SeaWorld had real life horrors. Yeah, don't get me started on that. That's why I haven't been to SeaWorld yet, because I do not support what they do over there.
No, never been. I used to really want to go as a kid, and it was because of this movie. Because I love learning about the ocean, and I love like learning about all the animals and like all the fish and everything. But I am terrified of going into the ocean, like far out. And so this was like a way for me to see them. But then when I got older and I realized how bad they were, I was like, oh, never mind. I was like, fuck that. I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I wanted to work at a SeaWorld because of this freaking movie. It had that
But
much
what's the
of an
one
effect
problem
on me.
with that dream?
I can't go in the ocean. So I had to literally change that. I didn't even go to college at this point, so like whatever. But like I wanted to literally be a marine biologist because of this movie. Like it's so ridiculous. And that's why like I love sharks, is because of Jaws. And I wish, really quick, Shark Week is not as good as it used to be.
I agree with that.
And that's quite disappointing. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, not even Jason Momoa can save Shark Week.
No.
No,
It just doesn't have the same. What the fuck?
Oh, I was like, damn. I was like, you okay? You just transported right there for a minute.
The freaking screen went completely black. I've never seen it do that before.
Uh-oh. Do you have Ghost?
Don't say that.
Oh, man. Rosie
Oh
says,
my
thank
god.
again.
Something just came to my mind.
Uh-oh. Go ahead. Rosie,
Okay.
we'll get your comment. Actually, let me get Rosie's comment real quick. Thank
Yeah, let's
goodness
go
you
ahead.
didn't, Destiny. Those whales are not nice.
I
I
wouldn't be
think
nice
most
either,
whales
though.
are nice.
I wouldn't be nice though if I was being kept in captivity. I'd be fucking pissed. So I'd be swinging my tail and everything. Okay, you said ghost. Do you want to hear what happened the other freaking night at my
I
house?
heard
Because
sort
this
of
is
what
when I
happened. I heard
this
what
one
sort
I
of
yeah.
happened.
Okay, let me paint the picture really quick. We're home. Me, my mom, my brother, my cousin, my mom's fiance. Only us. Oh, and 2 dogs and a cat and a hamster, but they're unrelated. The dogs are important though.
The hamster.
We're all sitting in the living room. Everyone's chilling on their phones. Oh, my mom is using a massage gun on my back, I have back problems. So she's like massaging my back. And then Chuck walks around into the garage because there's a door right here. Everyone's chilling. We have a Ring camera and it's connected to Chuck's phone, so it goes off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only for the front door though. Okay? So, we hear the Ring go off, like the alarm for it. We hear a door open and close. It sounds like someone's walking in the hallway. The dogs are backing
No.
up and looking back and forth at the hallway and us. They look a little frightened. Okay. And then so we're all kind of like slowly turning because we're like realizing what's going on. And then I'm thinking maybe Chuck walked through the garage, opened the garage, went around the front door, which I was like, that's so weird. Why would anyone do that? That's so strange. I look and I could see in the garage his shadow. So for like all freaking 4 of us, because Chuck is in the garage, he has no idea what's going on. All 4 of us though are like, what the fuck was that? Me, my mom, my little brother, and my cousin. And the dogs were acting strange. And I was brave. Because guess who led the pack? Me.
Of course. It's like,
I
I watch
did.
horror movies, so I got this.
I led the pack. I even opened the front door. Oh, and we checked the Ring camera. There was nothing. Absolutely nothing.
God, do you know what like your obvious sign is that you know something's like going down? When your dogs are
The
reacting to
dogs.
it.
See, that's what my mom
It's
and I were
always the
saying.
damn dogs.
Like the dogs are what like absolutely was like, yeah. You said ghost. And then I was like, dang, didn't something paranormal kind of happen recently with me? And that was that.
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah, I
I was
was
kind of
fucking
opening a
scared.
segue for you right there.
Yeah,
Because
thank you for that.
yeah, and unfortunately, we occupied a hero of yours during that time too. And it's like while you were experiencing a paranormal experience there, and
I know. I'm glad he didn't freaking die.
yeah, I know. God, wouldn't I feel bad?
Yeah.
And we were there just drinking booze and everything. But Aaron Clegg says, "Did
Don't
Patrick
think so.
Swayze visit you?"
Maybe.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, we're gonna
have
start
you seen that
making
movie?
some as a kid. Racy. As a kid. So it's been so long. But I know the scene making the ceramic bullshit.
The
I'll do
pottery.
that. Pottery, that's what it's called. Thank you.
I was
Ceramic
like,
bullshit.
oh my gosh. So the next skit will be Destiny doing pottery for the class.
Yeah.
So there we go. Oh shoot, I don't want to leave him out. Freaking Sebastian, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Doing the ghost face. Here, let me go check my see here YouTube studio right here. Because yeah, he's showing off that awesome badass ghost face emoji in the chat. So thank you, Sebastian. So let's see here. And oh, Chad.
What?
Oh my gosh. Chad, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know right now. Please behave because to my right here, I am looking at not only your birthday, but your Christmas present as well. And I really hate for something bad to happen to him. So Chad, be on your best behavior.
I
And
know. My
then
gift to him is already there, and he wants to say ugh.
oh damn. Damn, you one up to me. Damn gum you. Uh, let's see here. Gory. Yeah. Gory Tiger, what's going on? How are you doing? Let's see here. Da-da. And I remember Ghost made everyone take up pottery. Yeah, I think that's the exact reason why pottery became such a thing in the 90s. So hell
You can make
yeah.
some cool stuff. So
Uh-oh, got to see my Brayden yesterday. I'm happy. Well, Chad, like, you don't have to rub it in. I get to see Brayden next month too. So you
okay.
just got a 1 month head start on me.
I don't know why we were having a competition here.
Yeah, it's like it's not a contest or anything. I feel like a loser over here. Even though Destiny wins the competition already.
Exactly.
So
Always
so,
winning.
so let's see. All right, well, that was Jaws 3D. We love to go off topic a lot on here. So hey, we always take
There's like
advantage when we
freaking
can.
almost no movies.
Yeah, like there's only like 17 to 15, so there's not much, and a lot of these we haven't seen. So when there's time to chill like this, we always love to do that. But Destiny, did you find anything else in '83?
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
And it is a movie called Sledgehammer. And I've only seen this because they showed it on the last drive-in paired with the movie Things. And they were like shot on video horror movies. So there's an abundance of them. We had to write a paper. And if you did so,
Yes.
we got our iron certificate or our iron mutant certificate, which I have. It's over there. So that is the only reason I've seen Sledgehammer. It is awful. It was so painfully bad. But
Oh.
the end or like getting the certificate made it worth it and everything. So it was a lot of fun, but I would not ever watch it again.
Oh my god, I remember how hard you worked on it. Like first I'm trying to stay awake watching the entire movie.
Yeah.
And then writing about such a bad horror movie. And then you a couple of months later you're like, God, where's my damn certificate? I don't know where it is. And I'm getting all upset. And I'm like, I'm sure you'll get there. And plus they made you go for 2 bad horror movies. So like shame on them anyway. And what, a couple of days later you see me a picture going, got my certificate. Like
Yeah, because I never got anything back, and I was like, "Oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna get it. Like maybe my paper wasn't good enough or something." And I was like, "Dang, I really worked hard on that." So I was like, "Oh, I don't know," and I didn't want to like email or be a bother. So like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And then it showed up days later, and I was like, "Good,"
hell yeah.
because I did work really hard on that paper.
Now you gotta get it framed. So that's all you gotta do next.
It is framed. It needs to be hung up on the wall. I just don't have any room for it.
Well, actually, above your awesome steel books over there, there's some room right there.
Oh, you know what? Maybe.
Hey, there you go. Hey, you got to show off that bad boy somehow. So no, that is awesome. And no, you wouldn't be a bother if you emailed them. I bet AMC would love if I didn't email them all the damn time because they keep on causing me problems, especially for this week when I'm trying to talk to me for free, saying I used up all my 3 movie reservations for this week when I didn't make any reservations this week. So hopefully I don't have to pay for talk to me on Thursday.
Oh, sorry. That was actually me. That's how I saw Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Oh, for AMC. So you use my reservation. Yeah. What the? All right. So, anyways, Destiny no longer will participate in this. Now, I'm just, got you. See, you didn't think I was going to pull you up while you were doing the double birds.
No, I was hoping you would.
Now, actually, do that again real quick. I'm curious about something. Oh my God, your middle finger. I'm got my mom's hands, okay? So stop. Anyways, God almighty. I got like the BK tiny hands if you look up the Burger King commercial. I got these tiny hands. Eric Click says, everyone support Brayden and company by donating to their Indiegogo campaign for The Last Nightmare. Yes, please do that. I think Brayden has less than 40 days left, so still plenty of time. Definitely they can, even just as low as $10, you can make a big difference for helping Brayden put his vision on the screen. So definitely, if you have not done that already, please be sure to do that. So, all right. So, was that the only thing you found in 83?
Yes.
All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and go to 1988, and I've only found one from 1988, and that is Phantasm 2, released on July the 8th of 1988, and it's for rent right now for $4 on the Prime, YouTube, or Vudu. So that's if you are curious to rent it. $4 ain't too bad. And from what I hear about this one, this is a good sequel, but I have not seen it. So Destiny, have you seen this one? If not, are you interested in watching it?
I haven't even seen the first one. I
Ooh.
do own the first one though, and I do want to give them a watch at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely me too. Well, I've seen the first one, and I thought the first one was just okay. If and I hear everybody else say the second one is better, so hopefully I'll get to enjoy the second one. The only thing I just know from this franchise is just
Yeah.
boy.
Oh,
That's
and
the
the
only thing I
sphere.
know. Hmm? Oh yeah, and
The
the
sphere.
sphere. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, take a look at the sphere right there. That's what I love about this poster already. So hopefully we get when we both are eventually get to Phantasm 2, we get to have more of the sphere action. Let's see here. And did you find anything else from 88? Because that was an easy one.
I found one, and again, I haven't seen it, but it's Hobgoblins, and I'm only bringing it up because I believe when Elvira did like the 13 spooky days, she did like 13 nights on some like TV network, and you can usually find them streaming somewhere. And I believe Hobgoblins was one of the movies she showed because I remember seeing it in the title. And I do want to watch it eventually. I'll only watch it with that though, because
Of
it
course.
doesn't. Yeah, I don't know, but I'll watch it with her. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure
Hobgoblin.
Elvira can help enhance the experience with the movie with her presence there as well.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm gonna need
Uh,
it
and
probably.
And I cannot remember if I said hey yet, but just in case, Atanas, how are you doing, my friend? If I already said hey to you already, you get it twice, so you're ahead of the game of everybody. And Aaron Click says, I think you're right, Destiny, mentioning that movie being a part of Fyra's lineup.
Yeah, because I watched a couple of them from that. That's where I watched like Cannibal Women and the Avocado
The avocado what?
Cannibal Women and the Avocado. Hold on, this is one of the craziest movie titles I've ever heard. It's definitely
No,
called Cannibal
no, you
Women.
already got my attention already. Like you have my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death. And you know what? That movie was actually good. I actually really liked that movie. It was fucking funny. There's a character in it. Her name was Bunny. She wore pink. Loved her. A great movie. And I think it has Adrienne Barbeau in it, if I remember correctly. So
Oh, okay.
check out
Um,
that movie.
Let me go ahead and ask this because I gotta be the guy that asks. Was there avocado in the movie?
Yeah, I
You
think so.
sound so confident with that answer. Like, come on.
I
First
want
off,
to
you
say
know what an
yes.
avocado looks like.
I love
Right.
avocado.
I know you love I cannot stand avocados. So,
Whoa.
yeah, I just can't do it. Like, my mom loves avocados. So, I know every time we go to a Mexican restaurant, I know I just like, okay, we're going to have to suffer getting avocado for an appetizer. So, but no,
Yeah.
but no, say the title one more time because I am going to add that to my watch list.
Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
All right, excellent. I'm going to put that on my letterbox watch list. And Aaron Click's just singing in the chat, "Peel the avocado." I hopefully my tune, like you know what, I'm just
Guacamole.
going to retire as singing because Destiny made fun of me last
Have you
Thursday.
seen that
So
video? Well, that's because your pronunciation, bud. That wasn't even the
my
singing.
tongue got stuck and I was drunk. Okay, so
Okay,
but no,
sure.
what about peel the avocado?
And then she makes guacamole. It's like guacamole, guacamole. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I think so, but it's been such a long time ago. The one that popped up in my head was no, deadgummit. Never mind. I'm not going to embarrass myself even more. So did she find anything else from '88?
No, that was it.
Guacamole. Aaron Clay's just finishing the lyric right there. And Rosie asks, why would they need to be cannibals if they have avocados?
They eat men.
So they use men to dip the avocados with.
Yes, they make the perfect chips.
Oh my god. Was that it for 1988?
Yep.
Excellent. And I have, let's see here. I have two from 1993. We're going into the 90s right now. With the first one being one of the classic Disney, just one of the classic like Halloween movies out there for the children. And that is Hocus Pocus. And I know what you're thinking. I asked the same question too. What in the hell is Hocus Pocus doing releasing in July of all months? But it is. I was surprised with my research. This came out on July the 16th of 1993. You can watch this on Disney Plus. So big anniversary for Hocus Pocus. And the other one I found too. Not It's not technically horror, but anything that's thriller and stalkish and just anything like that, I consider that horror. So I added this last minute to the list. That's Disturbing Behaviors, released on July the 24th of. Actually, that's 98. So let's see here. Oh, I skipped one. So yeah, that's 98. We'll get to that one next. But the other one from 1993 is Maniac Cop 3, released on July the 7th. Had a limited release in 93. But if you are curious, it is on Shudder and Tubi. So Destiny, what do you think about these two movies, Maniac Cop 3 and Hocus Pocus?
Okay, well, haven't seen Maniac Cop 3. I've only seen the first two, which I enjoyed those very much. But the third one, I don't think it's the same director as the first
Mm-hmm.
two. I remember them talking about it because they showed one and two on the last drive-in. Um, so my like excitement for three, like when I heard that, kind of like went down. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like in a rush, or maybe it's Basket Case, but I want to say it is Maniac Cop 3. It's directed by someone else. Or I think like halfway through the movie, someone else took over or something like that. So, um,
I'll check on that for you as
okay.
you're continuing.
So yeah, I haven't seen the third one, but I want to watch it at some point just to kind of finish out the trilogy because it's the only one I haven't seen, so might as well. Hocus Pocus though, I fucking love Hocus Pocus. It's been a staple since I was a kid, and I watch it every year during October, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I love Hocus Pocus so much,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Yeah,
cannot
Hocus.
wait to rewatch it.
Yeah, like especially now you could combine it with Hocus Pocus 2. Did that came out? That came out last year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so definitely we'll be talking about that in late September, or just in September because for some reason it decided to want to come out on like the day before Halloween started for some reason. So technically it's a September versus an October movie. So we'll talk about Hocus Pocus 2 until then. But yes, Hocus Pocus definitely is a great classic movie to show off to the kids, to kind of introduce them to the spooky season, just to kind of see if they are like kind of like their thing. And plus, just gosh, the three sisters so damn entertaining. They're so much fun characters, and so yeah, I definitely love Hocus Pocus. Definitely one of the staples to watch for any horror spooky fan out there for the month of October. And for Maniac Cop 3, I have not seen that or the second one, but definitely seen the first one, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And to answer your question, Destiny, from earlier, yes, the director, William Lustig, I believe, hopefully I pronounced his last name right. He did 1 and 2. He's attached to 3 as well, but also there's a director named Alan Smithy. That's a
yeah,
part of it as well. So I think, yes, you're correct about
yeah. He
like the
takes
50
over.
50. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I could go ahead and let you know they should have let William continue being the director on that because
I
I heard
agree.
nothing
The
but good
first
things.
two, they're so good. Like I really
Mhm.
enjoy those movies a lot.
Yeah, I heard the second one was great, so I'm definitely going to add that to my watch list. And then the third one, I'll just get to it when I get to it. And then I saw Brooks comment. They want Brooke to forget Brooke here. Visit Salem, Massachusetts if you get the chance. It's great in October. So hell yeah.
Yep, that is like my number one dream spot. I want to go.
See. Oh yeah. Hey, you get a chance to possibly go now, because you face one of your fears.
Yeah. The only problem is these Octobers are kind of booked
Mm-hmm. Oh
for the
yeah.
next couple of years.
Oh, really? Damn, you're thinking that far ahead.
Yes.
Damn. Look at you being all busy over there. I'm still trying to figure out my October for next year. This one is pretty. This year's been pretty good. Ready to go for that. So let's see here. Robert says Hocus Pocus is fantastic. The sequel, not so much. Now, and I understand that, but I had a great time with what they were trying to do with Hocus Pocus too. So.
Yeah, I like the second one. I think the ending could have been handled differently.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the stuff with them being in the like now and all the new technology, like I thought it was actually funny and it wasn't super like corny like how they could have made it. Like I thought the things they chose were like funny and like, oh wow. And some of it actually set up things that happened later on in the story, which I was like, oh wow, I didn't even think about that. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was cute.
Especially how they wrote like the modern day versions of the brooms, with that one girl
Exactly. That was,
riding the Roombas. I thought that was terrific.
and then later on it gets the salt. Like that was genius. That's what I'm
Hmm.
talking about. Like they set up things and I was just like, wow. So I liked it.
Yeah, I thought they again did a great job making it modernized, without forcing anything. So I agree with you. I at least have fun with it. I think from my memory, I gave it like a solid 3.5 out of 5, which to me is above average on most of the movies I rate. So let's see here. Okay, that's all I found from 1993. Did you find anything else from 93?
Nope.
All right. And I got a little excited with the next movie, so I'll go ahead and bring it up. With Disturbing Behavior. I've never heard of this movie until I did like a recent like research on everything, and I found this one. So I'm not too familiar with it, but I saw it had an anniversary popped up, so I might as well just threw it in here on our list. Came out on July 24th of 98, and it's on Tubi right now if you're interested. So Destiny, have you heard of about Disturbing Behavior?
I've heard about it and I've heard people like it a lot actually. I just haven't seen it, but it's been on my watch list for a while and it's usually streaming. It might be
Mm-hmm.
on Max or whatever. I
Yeah,
know I always
it's
see
on
it
Tubi too.
too. But I always see it. I haven't actually watched it, but I do want to watch it.
Hell yeah. And this is a good sign of approval right here. Brooke says, I love Disturbing Behavior. So amazing. And Blu-ray Addict, what's going on, my friend? Saying Disturbing Behavior is awesome. So right now we got 2 for 2 on Disturbing Behavior. So when I go on Tubi here later, I'll add that to the watch list. And then Hatchet Boys, what's going on there, guys? How are you all doing? So, and that's the only one I found from 98. Did you have anything else?
Hold on, let me check something really quick before I say
Oh no,
it.
you're good. No, you are good. I'll let me check the chat here while you do that. Aaron Click says never saw it, but it seems like it fits with the flicks like Cruel Intentions and Wild Things. Yeah, exactly. And that's the kind of feeling that I got with it. Even maybe a little fear, even though trust me, I know fear is in a whole nother league of its own. So that's why I decided to count it. So because sometimes your thriller movies could get tied into your horror movies very easily, depending on the mood and atmosphere.
Okay, nope, I didn't have anything.
Okay, excellent. And then while we're at it, to my surprisement, I don't have anything from the 2000s. Did you find anything in the 2000s?
No.
Damn, 2000s, you're killing us here. That's the era of the remakes. So you tell me you couldn't think of a remake to do in the 2000s? Shame on you, horror genre. But you know what? That's okay, folks. We're about to go into the big one, the big time here. The 2 movies that I'm most excited to talk about today. Uh, Doing some game ran some of these other ones real quick, building up the anticipation. So let's go ahead and talk about the first big one here. Recently had a birthday. It got showed off on the last drive-in for such a big occasion, and that is Sharknado, released on July the 11th of 2013. This is, I believe, on Shutter right now because again, it did get shown for the last drive-in. And this one was a fantastic watch, or just so much fun watching this movie again with the last drive-in, hearing Joe Bob and everybody else talk about this movie. And I know a lot of people honestly really do not like this movie, but I can't help but fall in love with this movie for some reason. So, Desi, do you feel the same way, or are you on the opposite side of the Sharknado?
I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and that was being generous. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a little bit of a rough watch. Like rewatching it on last drive-in, and I had a couple of drinks, and I was just like, and I feel like a lot of times when people are like, the more drunk they are, the more like fun they're having. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm the opposite. I feel like I'm more like hyper aware of things,
Or
to where I'm like,
judging the movie
oh,
a lot more than usual. Or
yes,
not, sorry, not
like
like usual, but like you're judging it a lot more as you're drinking. I can see that.
exactly. Or if I'm like smoking a little bit, I was like, that's how I was watching Freddy versus Jason that one time, and I was smoking a little bit, and I was like watching it, and I was just like, whoa, this is actually kind of really bad. Like it actually hit me. I was just like, whoa. So it was like that for this too. I was just like watching it, I was just like, oh yikes. Like I get it, they're trying to be funny, but like the production itself is awful. Like put
Mm-hmm.
aside the sharks and the tornadoes and the terrible acting, the actual production looked awful. But if you want to watch a dumb movie, nothing wrong with
Mm-hmm.
that. So I'm not, rushing to watch the Sharknado movies. I do want to watch the second one because it does have Tiffany Shepis. Her
Mm-hmm.
part got cut down though, so it's not as much as it was originally, which makes me upset. But I do want to watch it because she's in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just I don't know. I don't
Just
know. I was
let's
like,
just say it's your definition of a sci-fi channel movie right there.
which
It's
I
the
grew
one
up
that
watching those movies too. Like I love shitty shark movies. Like I watched. They're naming so many that I had seen growing up because they're like I watched like Malibu Shark Attack and the Ghost Shark and Land Shark and Two-Headed Shark Attack all the way up till fucking like Seven-Headed Shark Attack. Like they just keep going. Ghost Shark, yeah, yeah,
mm-hmm.
through the toilet. And there's another scene with the water slide. He's sliding like this.
Oh, like the outsource slide, and he just slew.
Yeah,
I've
and he
seen that
slides
gif
right.
all the time. Oh my gosh.
It's terrible, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm. And just with Sharknado, like I can have fun with it, but is it like A+ cinema? Hell to the no. But I feel like with this first one though, I don't think they realized that because I think they were really trying to make a good movie and it was just not. And then when like the second one comes around, I think they finally learned what they are and they decide to really have fun with it. So if you get a chance to see the other Sharknado movies, like they're not great either, but they're a lot more fun than the first one, in my opinion. And I know Heather, one of our big followers in our community, she
Yes.
absolutely defends that franchise more than anything. So
Every
Heather,
time
I'm
I think
glad
of
you're
Ghost
not
Shark, or
here.
not Ghost Shark, when I think of Sharknado, I think of Heather.
Oh, I do
Because,
too. And
yeah.
she sent me the first three movies, I think, for her birthday one year. And Heather, thank you so much for that because I love the first three. I still got to watch the final one. It's just, I kind of got like what we call burnt out by the fifth one. I was like, no, I don't care how it ends. So I'm good. So, yeah, Russell, what's going on, man? Saying House Shark. So there you go. Let's
There's
see here.
also Ouija Shark. That's another one.
Oh my god! Is it like the shark reads at a Ouija board and then all hell breaks loose?
Yeah.
No shit. I was just joking. Is that really how it goes?
They like summon the shark with the Ouija board.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, now that's it. For that reason alone, I'm adding a Ouija shark to my watch list just because now I'm damn curious. And Aqua Splash Destiny, Russell says too as well.
I'm looking at that and I haven't seen it. So
Uh,
I might have to add that. It has a
and
25% on Rotten Tomatoes.
oh shit. Oh, thing you definitely got added, especially for this week. Hatchet Boy says Shark Exorcist. And then Blu-ray Ag says Cocaine Shark is on Tubi, where Shark does cocaine. So there we go. Your second movie of the year where wild animal does cocaine. So if you're interested. So let's see here. Evan Reagan turning into a shark. Like, oh my, okay. I was about to say, what the hell? But no, I get what you're doing. I get what you're laying down there, Sebastian. So let's see. That is Sharknado. Now, to me, this is my personal main thing, and you're going to understand why here in a minute. Because there's that one movie, horror movie with everybody. It kind of changes them forever. This one not only changed me in the horror movie perspective, but it changed my life as well. And I won't. And as y'all possibly know, you probably heard my story a million times, so I won't go over my story again unless if y'all want me to in the chat. But I'll kind of save that. But the movie that pretty much does it all, and I still keep this by my side. If you all can see it, it's The Conjuring. Definitely my very first thing I own Conjuring wise. So thank you so much, Destiny, for doing that for me 1 year. And so that's The Conjuring, released on July the 19th of 2013. This one started a whole brand new horror franchise, one that is super popular and still rolling in today, with a movie like The Nun 2 releasing in September, support Nun 2. And then we're also getting a Conjuring 4 at some point as well, and getting a Conjuring like TV series as well. So a lot of big things happening in the Conjuring world, but this one is the one that started it all. Destiny, I know you love this movie so much too. So what are your thoughts about The Conjuring?
Yes, The Conjuring's in my top 10 favorite horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a comfort movie. Like if I just like need like a certain, it just has like a certain type of feel. Yes. I'm kidding. Anyways, it just has like a certain feeling to it. Like it just reminds me of the fall time. So I love watching it whenever it starts to. I've already watched it
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks ago, so I'm gonna rewatch it again when it cools off and starts to get like fall time, because it just has like the perfect fall feel to it. I just love it. I love the story. I love fictional Ed and Lorraine Warren, not real life,
Mm-hmm.
but I love them in the movie, and I love the family, and I think they're so cute and everything. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love the movie. It is just
Yeah.
a comfort movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. Like when you say comfort movie, when the first time I ever watched this, it absolutely scared the hell out of me. So I was like, "Damn, how in the hell can you sleep to this movie?" Because I still can't. Like I rewatched it on the anniversary day, and I was like, "Damn, this is still scary as I remembered it."
I love going to sleep watching The Conjuring. It is just like, I don't know, it's this and like Halloween. They have like a certain type of feel that you can just put it on at night, all the lights off, and just
It
drift
just
away.
drift away. And Rosie says, I love moments like that, Destiny, mentioning the ones she talked about there. And then, yeah, with The Conjuring, yeah, love Ed and Lorraine, Patrick Wilson, and Vera Farmiga. They were great. I'm still committed, still to this day after rewatch. If I meet any one of them, I'm going to ask them the one important question is, did you improv the sing of, remember what you told me on our honeymoon night? Can we do it again? Like, I gotta know if that's improv or not. Like, I have to know because I'm just telling you how Farrah Farmiga smiles during that response. It had to be improv. Like, did you think that's improv, or do you think I'm crazy on that?
Maybe
Mm-hmm.
to both.
Yeah, to both. Yeah, so hope that literally that's going to be the first question I ask them. It's like, can we do it again? Lying, is that improv? But no, I love them. I love the Parent family, especially the standout, like the one that changed her whole movie career with her performance as well. That's Joey King, that plays one of the five daughters. The one where she's in the bed saying, "There's so." Like she's standing right behind, oh, and her whole freak out scene, that's my favorite scene in the entire movie because her acting definitely beat out everybody's acting in that movie. So absolutely love that. I love this movie. Like I said, this movie legitimately changed my life because I wouldn't have the friends that I have today without this movie. So I'll just leave it at that. I absolutely love The Conjuring. It is my number two favorite horror movie of all time, with Scream
Rightfully
being
so.
number one.
Rightfully so.
Hell yeah. So let's see here. Rosie says, I need to revisit this movie. Definitely, Rosie. I say give it a watch. And Sebastian, interesting. Conjuring 2 is better to me. And you're not the only one. I think Braden also likes Conjuring 2 more than the first one. And I respect the hell out of Conjuring 2. It is the first Conjuring movie I saw in the theater was Conjuring 2. And it was a great experience. But just that first movie was absolutely spectacular. I don't think nothing can beat it.
I
Uh,
agree. I like the
mhm.
second one. I think I've only seen the second one like twice, maybe only once, but I've seen the first one. I don't even know how many times, like at least 50 times.
Damn, I haven't
So
even hit the 10. I think my next watch is my 10th time watching it, because for some reason I can't watch movies over and over again. It's like, in a way, I like to preserve each watch sometimes, even though I love when people watch them like 50 times and all that, because it keeps the movie alive.
that's how I used to. I try to now like preserve the movies. Like I try not to rewatch constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but sometimes, like I
Yeah.
was like I've been pushing off watching Hocus Pocus. Like I already want to start watching like not even like fall time, but like Halloween movies. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing everything I can to save them for October because I don't want to have to watch them twice. But it's
Right.
like making me go a little crazy. So I keep just watching videos about movies instead. But I want to
Hey,
watch
you know
them.
what? I think the rule for horror movie, like a horror movie fan, is Halloween any time of the year. So like, no one's gonna blame you if you go ahead and start watching them right now. But I'm kind of with you, Phil. I'm trying to hold off on some first time watches as well, even though I'm kind of
Yeah.
like, I really want to watch them, but I'm saving it for October. So I'm not ready to crack just yet, but I know once mid August hits, yeah, it's gonna be a lot harder to freaking do it. So, and
Yeah.
Brother Fluff, you're right. The Conjuring Dick took my cherry. So my horror virginism got taken away from The Conjuring when Bathsheba jumped from that damn wardrobe and scared the shit out of me.
Hell
So,
yeah.
and let's see here. And yes, Brooke, you should revisit it as well. Absolutely. Anybody who hasn't seen Conjuring in a long time, definitely rewatch it. Or like Desi says, save it for when it cools off a little bit. Because again, perfect fall time because they use a lot of leaves in that movie.
Yeah, and the color palette is great. And then
Mm-hmm.
you can save The Conjuring 2 for December because it takes place, there's a
And
Christmas
Christmas.
scene, which is what I'm trying to do for that one. I was supposed to watch it after we watched the first one, but we didn't get to it. So now I'm just like, I'll just wait until it cools off completely to fit the vibe. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I want to rewatch it, but it is nice to kind of wait. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
have, what is that called?
Building up the anticipation.
No, it's when you have like, oh my God, what is it? When you can hold yourself accountable for things. You know what I'm talking about?
I am the worst in vocabulary. That
It
wasn't my
starts with a
strong
D.
suit.
Starts with a D.
Starts with a D.
It, come on
D's
now.
nuts.
I'm gonna slap you.
Got him.
I'm trying to concentrate.
Sorry.
Someone help me. Not
Well, yeah.
determination.
Okay. Help us out there, chat. Figure out the best vocabulary word for what Destiny is mentioning. And while we're doing that, SPC. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, discipline.
Discipline. There it is. Sorry, because I'm like you. Like, once I think of something, I have to say it right then and there. So that's why I always wait a minute to read a comment, because I know how that is. Because I know if you lost that word, you were going to get mad. Because I get mad too. SPC, what's going on, my friend? Saying, hey, Brett and Destiny, how are you guys? It's been a while since I've been by. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming by, man, and hopefully you enjoy and stay with us. And then Rosie says dedication. But discipline's I think, the word you were looking for.
Yeah, discipline. But also dedication, because you are dedicated to doing something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So any other thoughts about the greatness that is The Conjuring?
It's a fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm. Like we could be here for another hour if we really wanted to, but we're trying to respect the 2 hour contract rule. So for anything else you find in 2013?
Nope, those are it.
Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into 2018. There are a lot of things to talk about. I'm going to save the one that you're most excited to talk about for last because it deserves its own particular topic. So I'm going to go over some of the others right now. With the first one being the first Purge. This is the Purge prequel movie, or it's the fourth movie released in the Purge franchise. Released on, of course, you know it, July the 4th of 2018. You can rent this as cheaply on Amazon Prime for $3.39. So if you want to do that, you absolutely can. And then Destiny, I think this is the movie I had you watch, right? And that is It's The Night Eats the World, released on July the 13th of 2018. Definitely a different zombie movie, which you can watch on Amazon Prime, Peacock, and Tubi if y'all are interested on that. We'll get to our thoughts in a minute. And then, just because we love King Hodder, Jason Voorhees himself, this is his documentary to hail him back, the King Hodder story, released on July the 13th of 2018. And you can watch his documentary on Prime and Tubi. And then, let's see here. The last one I had was Unfriended the Dark Web. This is the sequel to a popular horror movie of Unfriended. It's available on Tubi, released on July the 20th. So, Destiny, we'll go with The Purge first. Have you seen The First Purge?
I have not.
All right. And any interest in watching it?
Maybe at some point.
At some point. Yeah, I'm the same way. I haven't seen it either, but I still got to watch Election Year. But with that one and The Forever Purge, I'm just like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm sure I'll do it for a review series in the future. So I'm not in the rush for them.
Yeah, stupid name.
Yeah. And plus to go in that kind of order too, it's not very interesting.
No, because we have to clarify now.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, oh, have you seen The First Purge? No, not like the actual first one, the fourth one.
Yeah, I was like, not the Ethan Hawke one, but like, yeah,
they could have handled that, I think, better. But yeah, I haven't seen it, and I haven't seen The Forever Purge either. I have more interest in watching The Forever Purge because I like the sort of because it's like in Texas and Mexico, and I thought that was pretty cool. But then I've watched the kill count for it. Sue me. So like I know how like the movie plays out and stuff, and they have like these contacts that are like cameras or something, and I was just like, this is like super high tech. They didn't even do that in the actual first Purge movie, so I don't know. I feel like they try to like make it too big for what we're seeing chronologically now. Like that makes sense for it to come after like election year when they're starting to like ramp up, like I don't know. I just haven't really thought about it.
Plus, it's the popular thing to do is like after like one or like three movies, you go backwards and like do the prequel route, and that's fine and all that. But like you said, dumb titled for a first movie because it does cause a lot of confusion. So,
yeah.
And okay, and what are your thoughts about the Night That Eats the World?
It kind of has like a 28 Days Later sort of vibe to it because this guy wakes up and there's zombies and he's kind of like a lone wolf within this, and he's kind of like confined to the part. So it also kind of reminds me of Demons 2, because even though those are like demons, they're kind of like zombies in a way. And it's also set in like a high-rise like apartment, sort of like Evil Dead Rise was. So it kind of reminded me of that as well. Just like honestly, I thought it was a little boring because it is quite slow because you're just kind of watching this guy kind of like go through every day. Now just he's like stuck, and there's some decisions he made that I was just like, so okay, little light spoiler, really not anything story related, just to kind of show you what kind of character he is. A gunshot goes off and he like puts his head down there, which is like, okay, this guy shot himself, and then he's like yelling like, hello. Like, do you think this man would have done that if there's other people with him?
Oh hell
I
no.
was like, why would you think people are there? I don't know. And like, why are you yelling? And he was like, I don't know. He was just doing stuff. And I was just like, why would you do that? But yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, and I can understand that, but it was just like for me, like I really enjoyed it, but I'm like you, it is very very slow, and if you're gonna do that, you gotta land some things for me. It didn't land everything for me, but it did bring me something new. I haven't really seen in a zombie movie in a while. Just like that self isolation when the zombie apocalypse is like outside. I thought that was a little bit different. I wish again they could portray more with the zombies in this movie, but with the story they're trying to tell, I understood it. I think again, and this is also a movie too from my buddy Chris. From Goodreal Chris, that is. He suggested this movie to me on my 14 new horror movies to watch in May series that I like to do this past year. And I'm glad he chose this movie for me because I enjoyed it. Was it perfect? Absolutely not, but definitely one of the more intriguing zombie movies I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, well, I was like watching it. I was like, this would probably be like the most realistic,
Mm-hmm.
like how it would actually play out. He's just stuck in this one apartment and he's trying to like get in and out of like the apartments and like see what he can find, and he's like crossing off which ones are safe and which ones are not safe and stuff like that. So I was like watching it, I was like, well, this would probably be yes. We're just like stuck, just kind of like, there's nothing to do and you're just like watching. But yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was just little, it was pretty
Just
slow.
yeah, pretty slow. And again, I understand that because I totally agree with you. And want to get Robert's comment about this movie, saying it's one of the best zombie movies in the last decade. Um, I I could kind of see that. Like, I refer to like in the last decade of zombie movies, I could like very comfortably say, "Oh, The Night That Eats the World," like that's a good zombie movie. So I can definitely say that for sure too, Robert. But definitely the one that tops everything when it comes to zombie movies of the last decade is Train to Busan. Fight Me.
That one's my favorite. That's
Mm-hmm.
my favorite zombie movie.
I'll be honest with you. I think that's mine too, if I'm not going to count Zombieland, because I love Zombieland. But
Zombieland is good.
oh, it's so damn good. Let's see here. Want to check the comments here. Think y'all are talking mostly amongst yourselves, so that's excellent. We encourage that. So let's see here. That's Night Eats the World. And any thoughts about King Hodder documentary or the dark web?
I have not seen the documentary. I do want to though. I've heard it's really good and pretty emotional. So it is on my watch list. And Unfriended Dark Web, I don't even know. It's so strange because the first movie is a paranormal movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have this movie which is not paranormal, and it's the dark web, and you have like all these people, and there's like this fucking weird voice changer when they come on screen, and everything's all pixelated, and oh, it's so ominous.
Oh no.
It's just such a weird direction to go with these movies, and I feel like they even, it's called dark web, but they barely even utilize the dark web. Like, I don't know, like it could have been a cool concept, even though it is completely different. They're changing up, which if it would have landed, that's fine, but it didn't. So I was just like, what? It was just so strange, I think, and it just, I don't know. And there's like 5 different endings for the movie as well, which is
Oh really?
interesting. Because when they showed it in theaters, a bunch of theaters were getting different endings.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's like, hey, go to each field or go to each theater so you could collect all the endings and then earn a special price afterwards. But no, with the dark web, I'm damn, that sucks to hear that it went away from the paranormal side of things because that's what made the first one so damn successful, in my opinion. Especially just during that time because of Unfriended. Even though a lot of people say, "Oh well, Host copied Unfriended." Well, yeah, in a way, it absolutely did, but just for the times because Host was during the pandemic era, so they were playing. So it was a great time to drop a movie like that. If an Unfriended was just kind of like one of the first movies to introduce that concept and all of that too, and it kind of like spawned in more movies like that. Like for example, like Missing earlier this year. I've kind of see like kind of like Unfriended vibes or even dark web vibes that you talk about, kind of combining a whole bunch of things. So it's like movies like Unfriended that kind of like you appreciate, and I'm glad. Oh, I'm not. I'm sure we'll talk about Unfriended eventually on Back from the Dead, but dark web, that's disappointing. It went away from its original roots. And then
Yeah.
And then the King Harder one, I've only seen half of it, but I don't remember it. So I put it on my to be watch list because I definitely want to finish that story. Just because I do remember enjoying it on my early first time watch on it. So, Rosie says the first Unfriended was good, which, yeah, again, absolutely agree with that. And Sebastian says, I don't think Unfriended 2 had any paranormal elements. Yeah, that's what Destiny was saying. It did not. And to me, that's very disappointing.
Agreed.
So let's see here. All right, we got about those two. And again, I saved the best for last for the 2018. So Destiny, this is going to be your big time topic. I know you're going to go crazy over this, so let's go ahead and do it for you. The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs of the popular show on Shudder that is always conquering Fridays for when they release each season. But it got brought back on July the 13th of 2018, and a lot of those seasons are on Shudder right now, so go ahead and watch it. Destiny got me involved in this show, and I love this show. Unfortunately, I only got to watch one episode for this particular season. Unfortunately, my Fridays got busy this year. Hopefully, to change that around next year. So, Destiny, go ahead, take it away. What got you into The Last Drive-In? Why do you love it so much?
So I was kind of late to The Last Drive-In. The first time I had seen anything about like Joe, Bob, and Darcy was on the first In Search of Darkness documentary, and I remember from Dead Meat the Kill Counts, James brought up Joe Bob in one of the episodes, and then he was talking about The Last Drive-In, and I was just like, oh, like that's interesting. I remember seeing that in the In Search of Darkness documentary. And so then I went to Shudder, and then that's where I found it. And I started watching them. And I remember the first live episode I watched was Slumber Party Massacre 2 and Victor Crowley. So that was the first live one that I got to watch. And it was so cool and it was so much fun because I had only been able to watch reruns at this point. But yeah, I love Last Drive-In. It's great because like I've met so many people because of it, because like the Mutant fam on Twitter. Met so many people. And it's just the best. It's so cool to watch, a movie. And a lot of times the movies aren't great, but like Sharknado wasn't great. But you're watching it with so many other people who are all just having fun, and it gives you something to look forward to during the week. And it's a Friday night, so you get to start your weekend off with like Joe, Bob, and Darcy. And they're like tweeting along. So it's just cool. It's just a big community. Everyone, enjoys the same thing. We're all here for the same reason. So it's just like a smaller community within the horror community. It's almost like a subgenre, there's like a little section. So, and it's cool to be a part of a smaller community within a huge community. That's not you're not just like in a community because of a franchise or a movie. It's because of like a person or people. So it's pretty cool.
Hell yeah. And I remember you got me involved in The Last Drive-In. I believe my first live episode was Humanoids from the Deep. So that's when I met Joe, Bob, and Darcy for the first time. I had them sign my VHS copy of the Humanoids from the Deep, just because that was my first live tweeting along. Because you're absolutely right. The Mutant Fam, hashtag Mutant Fam on Twitter. If you want to get involved in that community, that's the best way to do it. Great community. I've never had an issue with any of them. Like you said, we're all just there for the same reason, just to kick back after a long week of work and just watch either a dumb horror movie together or a great horror movie together. All of it's just so much fun. And yeah, so I really enjoyed that. Do you remember by any chance what your favorite like back-to-back movies were? I know you've seen a lot of them, but is there like one that stands out for you?
Well, I love watching Summer Party Massacre 2 and Victor Crowley. Like those two, because it's my first one. Like I love going back, and I love because they had so many people from almost the entire cast from Victor Crowley on with that episode for that movie. But my favorite is Haunt and Hack-O-Lantern. That's like a must watch. and I'm upset because the Haunt isn't on there. Which you can just watch. You can watch like the just Joe Bob segments,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the same. But yeah, Haunt and Hack o' Lantern, and I
Mm-hmm.
fucking you know how much I love Hack o' Lantern and
Oh yeah.
Haunt, but
Mm-hmm.
I will champion Hack o' Lantern forever.
Hey, and I'm still trying to get Brad to watch Hack a Lantern for his punishment movie. So, well, not as like a bad punishment. I'm just curious to see if Brad could fall in love with the movie
Oh, he'll
too.
hate it,
Oh, I'm sure.
and I can't wait.
Knowing Brad, I know, and I'm trying. I'm still trying to get him to watch it. He's just been a very busy guy. But once he's not busy, I'm forcing him to do a live stream solo to watch that movie. So I'll let you
Literally
know when that
every
is.
person I've had watch this movie has been like, "What the fuck are you making me watch?" I made Jason Smith watch that.
Mm-hmm,
I made
for one of
Chris
his live
watch that.
streams.
You watch that. I made Brayden watch it. I will keep getting people to watch this movie.
Braden
I
had the best response to it because he's like, "What the
the
fuck?" Because I
fuck.
was like that too. I was like, "What the fuck?" But I had a good time with it. Like again, was it A+ cinema? No, but it's just like you said, it's the best movie to watch in October to get you in the Halloween spirit. The killer looked great in my opinion, and it's just that movie is just again, what the fuck, but in the best way possible because you're not believing what you're seeing, but you can't help but have a good time with it. It's just something about that movie that just really like pulls you in.
Yeah, it's awful, but it's like sleepaway camp. Like there's so many parts that are just so bizarre and they're not good, but they work together. And for me, that's how this movie is. Like I'm watching it fully aware, like the acting is awful and the line delivery is terrible and the story makes no sense and what the fuck are they doing? But it works. I've watched Hack a Lantern probably like 10 times. And that's like an
Yeah.
embarrassing amount of times to watch Hack a Lantern because I've only watched it for the past like 2 years maybe. But for like a couple weeks, I would literally watch Haunt and Hack a Lantern back to back because it was just like comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And now I watch it every October.
Hell yeah! And again, like you, Haunt, like the most perfect movie to watch in the Halloween season, and definitely, yeah, throw in Hack a Lantern too. So if you've not seen Hack a Lantern in the chat, uh, while Destiny is here, absolutely go watch it. Like just like if you're just like, hey, I'm looking for a movie, put on Hack a Lantern, and let us know your thoughts about it. Definitely let her know your thoughts, and if you really like it, just message her or Instagram or however you do it, just go, what the fuck? And she will know exactly how you feel about that movie.
Yeah, I'm expecting it.
And then Sebastian says, Hack a Lantern is a cool title. Yeah, that's what draw me in. And then just the poster of it with the devil on the front. Like
Yeah,
that was enough to drag me into the movie. And then
it's good.
Rosie asks Destiny, Destiny, have you seen the movie Tormented from 2009? I recommend it.
I have not, so I'll have to check that out.
All right.
Tormented.
There you go. So let's see here. And Metallic, I'm sorry, but I had you start here. I didn't want to forget you. Metallic, how are you doing, my friend? And welcome to the chat. All right. And let's see here. And that is all I have from 2018. Did you have anything else from 2018?
I have one, and it is a movie I actually have seen. I don't remember anything from it though, except for the guy who's disgusting. 14 Cameras. It is a sequel to 13 Cameras, which I've also seen. I remember it being about a couple, and this guy just has a bunch of cameras throughout their house, and he just watches people and like abducts and kills them and stuff like that. So I don't remember it being good or bad. The freaking guy on it's disgusting though. He's like the bad guy. He's
Mm-hmm.
so nasty looking.
God. And then there's two of them. You said 13, and there's the one you mentioned about 14.
Yeah, 13 and
Hell yeah.
14 cameras.
All right. I'm definitely going to put that on my watch list because, like, that's to me sounds like it's trying to be like Peeping Tom in a way. But Peeping
Yeah,
Tom is a classic. So,
yeah, it's a
let's see.
great movie.
And let's see here. Wait, Sebastian said there's an 80s movie I found called Trick or Treat. Yeah, and definitely have that down. I can't remember if that's a movie we'll cover this year or not, but I definitely heard of it, and I'm sure we'll definitely get to talk about it at some point on, especially for a big October episode, because that's, from my memory, it definitely got released in October. So
Trick
definitely
or
we'll talk
Treat is
about it.
great.
Mm-hmm. That's all I hear too, and that's on my watch list on the Tubi app. So I'm hoping to watch it this October. So let's see here. Okay, and you said that was the only thing you found in 2018, correct?
Yep.
Excellent. All right. So again, to kind of finish off our last year, we are celebrating 1 year anniversaries. So we're going to dive in here to 2022, and we're going to go ahead and start off. I'll save the big movie for last, kind of like I did for last drive-in. I'll save the big movie to finish out our conversation of this episode. The first one I found, Fo, was this movie called This Is Gwar, released on July the 21st of 2002. And the only reason I remember this particular demon was from the amazing show called Holliston. So that's why I decided to bring this up. And according to the numbers, apparently a lot of people had a great time with this one. So if you're interested, it is on Shudder right now currently. And then the other two I found, the first one being Resurrection with Rebecca Hall, had a limited release on July the 29th of 2022. You can watch this on Hulu and Shudder. I definitely recommend it just if you're a fan of Rebecca Hall. That's all you need going into this movie, or at least to be interested, because she gives a phenomenal performance in that movie. And then another one I found, it's the sequel to The Reef. This is called The Reef Stalked, released on July the 29th of 2022 as well. And this is available on Hulu and Shudder. So, Destiny, have you seen, we'll start with Guar first. Have you seen that one? If not, any interest, just because you recognize Guar from the Halston show?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I do want to, even though I'm not even really familiar with like the band. I
Mm-hmm.
only do know of the member that unfortunately like passed away because
Mm-hmm.
he's Adam Green's like imaginary friend almost in
Oh my god,
Holliston.
and he is so freaking hilarious in that show.
Yeah, very funny. Love his character in it. So actually, and there's like an episode I remember when they go on stage on like during a concert and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Um, yes, Odorous. So I do want to watch it because I remember when that came out on Shudder because a lot of people were talking about it. So it is like on my watch list on Shudder, but have not seen it yet.
Yeah, and with seeing those numbers, I'm definitely like at least like piques my interest. And again, Odorous in it too, so I gotta see what that's all about. So I'm gonna add it next time I'm on Shutter. I'll add it to my watch list. Absolutely. But Desi, what about Resurrection? Have you gotten around to seeing that movie yet?
Yes, I
And
watched that
what did
last
you
year.
think? Because I want to hear your reaction to that third act.
I really enjoyed the movie. It's very like you don't think it's gonna go places like you don't think it's gonna get as crazy as it does because it's almost like so calm throughout it and like some things are happening here and there and then like it just like completely goes like in a crazy direction. But Rebecca Hall is amazing in it. She's
Mhm.
the reason why I watched it. She has this scene where it's a monologue and it goes on
Yes.
for so long. And, you know, Mia Goth was obviously amazing in Pearl. She had her monologue. Rebecca
Hmm.
Hall, I think, was like overshadowed for hers as well because even though she's not going through, because Mia Goth is going through so many emotions within that, she's just like kind of telling her like what happened, but it's what she is saying that happened is just so fucking crazy. But
Hmm.
yeah, Resurrection, I didn't like it didn't make my top 10 or anything. I think I gave it like 3.5 out of 5 stars. But it's just a really good movie about, like Stockholm syndrome and,
And grieving and being
and
overprotective. Yeah, it has a lot of like themes to it.
yeah.
Um, But the one constant you mentioned though is Rebecca Hall. That's why I watched this movie. And like you said, that I believe it was a 9 minute monologue, a 9 to 11 minute monologue.
Yeah.
Absolutely one of my favorite scenes of last year, and I even like made sure to make it a Real Horror Awards candidate like nominee for best scene of 2022 because I absolutely love that scene. Unfortunately, it didn't get a lot of votes, but again, I don't think a lot of people knew about what that movie was. Hopefully, with this show, we can introduce that movie to you all as well. So again, if you're a fan of Rebecca Hall, definitely give it a watch. You will not regret it. The third act gets really weird. Like Rosie said, Resurrection was weird. It does get weird, but again, Rebecca Hall's there, so you can at least tolerate the weirdness. So I definitely suggest this movie to everybody.
Yep.
And then Blood and Bruise, what's going on there, guys? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Woot woot. So hell yeah. So let's see here. And what do you think about the Reef Stalked, or have you not seen that one?
Haven't seen it. I really enjoyed the first one. I did not hear great things about the second one. So I just haven't
Mhm.
gotten around to it.
Yeah, I still got what I think I've seen it's the Reef, the one where they actually use the like real sharks in the movie for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that movie. I thought that was really cool how they used like the sharks for real, but for some reason I felt like the third act did not do as much with me, so I thought it was just okay. So with the this one with the Reef stalked, I'll just pass it until I'm forced to do it. So let's see here. Just checking the chat one more time. So, okay, let's talk about this last movie. Definitely one of the highly anticipated movies of 2022 last year. Jordan Peele's third installment into his directing career, and that's Nope. Was released on July 22nd of 2022. You can actually watch this right now on Amazon Prime Video. If you have a Prime membership, you can watch it there. And man, I just remembered the spectacular, just the spectacle of this movie. With this poster alone, we were all curious about what the hell this movie is about until Blumhouse lovely gave us that second trailer that pretty much just ruined all the suspense in this movie. But at the end of the day, though, still a great film. I'll get my thoughts here on it in a little bit, but I'll get to you first. Destiny, what did you think about Nope?
I thought Nope was great. I loved it. I remember, the poster and everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? And I remember people said, like, not of planet Earth. And that was, like, the first sort of, like, big clue that, like, what this movie could be. But the way that they did it was so different than what, like, I think anyone was expecting. But it's basically a Jaws movie, but alien instead, which I thought it was great. Like everything that's set up works out so well, and like all the payoff towards the end of it. Um, I think it's wonderful,
And
and I can't wait to watch it again.
yeah, and you actually said a great like compare or kind of like a great example of like this is like kind of like our generation's like Jaws movie in a way, kind of like with what it's trying to do, and that's a great comparison, kind of like Jaws but with aliens, but definitely what first off, the visuals in this movie were absolutely spectacular. Especially the one scene where the thing, I'll just call it the thing. The thing is over the house at night with that one particular thing showering down. Definitely one of my favorite shots in a horror movie of all time. I absolutely fell in love with that shot. And of course, I love the characters in this movie. And of course, the big standout we got to talk about is Kiki Palmer. I thought she was absolutely terrific in this movie. She helped really bring the charisma to this movie while everybody else is just like, like the generic, like, ooh, or kind of like that, not showing off their personality too much. But Kiki Palmer took care of that. I love her in this movie, especially with her and her brother, their chemistry. It worked. Especially, I love to see more of anything where they all do example like, oh, let's go. Like if you don't have that relationship with your sibling, like you're doing it wrong. So what did you think about Kiki Palmer's performance or anybody else's performance in particular?
I thought she was great. I thought the whole cast was great, but I really liked her because, like you said, she brings like energy. Because OJ is so much more like subtle and
Hmm.
like reserved, and like I think rightfully so after like everything, and you can already tell like that's just how he is already. But she's a complete opposite, so it's like a good balance between them. But I think everyone is great in this movie, but
Hmm.
especially Kiki Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya. I mean, they're both great in everything I've seen them in, because I've watched Kiki Palmer since True Jackson VP on Nickelodeon and stuff. So like I've watched her since like I was a kid. So it's cool to see her like,
Evolve to where she's at
yeah, and
today.
then like getting into horror stuff. And I remember when she's on Scream Queens, I was so excited for that too. So it's really cool to see her, and I hope she's like in more horror movies because I think she's so great. And I think she's in Scream season 3, right?
I cannot remember because I can't get past the first episode of season 3 of Scream 3.
I haven't watched 3. I think she might be in it, but yeah, I want to see her in more horror movies though.
Oh, definitely me too. Especially if she could bring that charisma to each of her characters. Yeah, give me all the Kiki Palmer in the world. Like, please do not change her.
Yeah.
And then actually, wait a minute. Sorry, wrong comment there. Rosie says the chimp storyline was creepy and cool. Rest of it is just meh to her. Yeah, the chimp storyline. Yeah, I'll tell you that. Like that was sometimes that was tough to watch a little bit with that particular story. But then it explains in the movie why it happened that way. But yeah, at first you have no idea what the hell was happening. So yeah, that was just like a crazy scene.
Yeah, but it ties in with everything.
It does. Yeah, absolutely, it does. For sure. And Robert says, "Nope was a great surprise. The day for nice shots were beautifully done." Yeah, that's the thing that was crazy to me. How they made those daytime scenes, or I can't remember. It was Paul Modem. I listened to that podcast episode. I can't remember what they said. Was it like they made like the day scenes at night, or did they make the night scenes during the day?
I think the 19s were during the day because that's
That's what I'm
how
thinking too.
they usually do them, but you can light them a certain way.
Hmm. Yeah, but how like Jordan Peele and his team did this movie in those particular with those kind of things, I thought was absolutely astounding cinema making right there. So let's see here. Yeah, Rosie even agrees, saying the cinematography was beautiful. I absolutely agree with that. And yeah, all nice things were shot in the day. Yeah, absolutely. So Destiny, any other thoughts about Nope or any of the movies from 2022, or did you find anything else in 2022?
No, that's all I had.
All right. Awesome. So that is pretty much everything I have for this particular episode for July. So let's go ahead and start to close up here. I do have a card here about the worst of the worst and the best of the best. So let's get to that real quick. The worst of July for Jaws 3D with the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, Maniac Cop 3 for the fans of Rotten Tomatoes, Jaws 3D for IMDb, and Sharknado for Letterboxd. According to these, stay away from these movies, which I disagree with Sharknado and Jaws 3D. To me, you gotta give those a watch. So don't agree with those, but Maniac Cop 3, I'm not surprised on that. So that is the worst of July that we talked about. But the best we talked about for July, To Hell and Back, the King Hodder story, and This is Guar. The critics gave it a perfect 100, so they're saying you should check it out. Same thing with the audience for Rotten Tomatoes for To Hell and Back, the King Hodder story. Definitely give it a watch. IMDb says The Last Drive-In is badass with a near perfect score with the 9.5. And Letterboxd is saying This is Guar and Nope are the movies you definitely need to check out. So that is the best of the best of July. So that is all I have. Destiny, is there anything else you want to mention about any of the movies we talked about or anything? Alrighty, excellent. So that is pretty much it for our episode of July. Again, not a lot of movies to talk about. So we are going to be back in around August the 20th. That's going to be our next schedule, Back from the Dead on Sunday at noon for August the 20th. So go ahead and close out. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me and Destiny. And we will see you all next month for Back from the Dead, the August episode.